Hi, my name is Oprah Winston, and after my husband died, I found comfort in a charming baker who listened when the world went quiet. Until secret walks turned into a hidden affair. Money vanished, my children uncovered shocking messages, and I realized I wasn't the only widow in his life. You won't believe what happened in the end. Stay with me and let me show you how it went down.
After the funeral, Oprah's house became too large for one heartbeat. The laughter that once bounced off the walls faded into a polite echo of memory. At 68, a grandmother of 3, she learned that grief wasn't loud, it was patient. It waited in the corners, in the empty chair across the table, in the mornings when no one asked how she slept. Her children, Michelle and Barack, called often, but their voices felt distant, like radio signals from another life. Then one morning, during her routine walk, the smell of fresh bread stopped her. A small bakery sat at the corner, warm and alive. Behind the counter stood Marco Silver, smiling as if he recognized loneliness the way doctors recognize illness. Marco remembered Oprah's name by the second visit. That alone felt like care. He asked about her day, not out of politeness, but with curiosity that lingered. He spoke softly about flour and yeast, about how bread needed patience to rise, just like people after loss. Oprah began coming daily, first for bread, then for conversation. Outside the bakery, Beyoncé, her sharp-eyed friend from church, warned her gently, "Be careful who you lean on when you're hurting." Oprah laughed it off. It was just talking, just coffee, just two people sharing mornings. But grief has a way of opening doors we swear we'll never walk through, and Marco's voice became something she looked forward to hearing more than silence. The walks began innocently. Marco would close the bakery early, claiming slow business, and offer to walk Oprah home. They talked about books, regrets, aging bodies that didn't forgive easily. Marco spoke of his difficult marriage, a wife who didn't understand him, who treated his dreams like inconveniences. Oprah listened, nodding, absorbing his pain as if it gave her purpose again. At home, Michelle noticed changes: new perfume, softer smiles, distracted pauses during phone calls. "Mom, are you okay?" she asked once. Oprah answered too quickly, "I'm fine." Lies don't always sound like lies. Sometimes they sound like protection. And with every step beside Marco, Oprah walked further from the woman she used to be. No one said the word affair. Not when Marco held Oprah's hand while crossing the street, not when she canceled lunch with Barack because Marco needed to talk. It lived in the unspoken space between them. Late evenings turned into late-night conversations behind the bakery, lights dimmed, phones silenced. Marco praised Oprah's strength, called her beautiful in a way that felt respectful, until it didn't. Beyoncé noticed Oprah skipping church. "You're glowing," she said, half joking. Oprah smiled but felt a sting. Glow could be a warning sign too. At home, unopened messages from her grandchildren piled up. Love, she told herself, shouldn't feel like hiding, yet she kept hiding anyway. By the 5th month, secrecy became routine. Oprah learned how to silence notifications, how to explain absences, how to divide herself cleanly. Marco became more demanding, subtly. "I thought you cared," he'd say when she hesitated. He leaned on her emotionally, financially hinting at struggles. "Expansion costs money," he sighed one night. Oprah, wanting to prove loyalty, offered help before he asked. Beyoncé confronted her gently. "You've changed." Oprah snapped back, something she hadn't done in years. That night, she cried alone, realizing the affair had begun costing her pieces of herself. Still, she stayed, not because she was weak, but because she was lonely, and Marco knew exactly how to use that. Michelle and Barack visited unannounced one afternoon. They noticed unpaid bills, missing jewelry, and the way Oprah flinched when her phone buzzed. Barack, ever calm, asked direct questions. Oprah deflected. Michelle pushed harder. "Is someone taking advantage of you?" The words cut deep. That night, Oprah ran to Marco seeking reassurance. He played the victim perfectly. "They don't understand us," he said. "They think you're fragile." The comment planted a dangerous seed, us versus them. Oprah chose Marco at that moment without realizing the cost. Families don't break loudly, they crack silently, one unspoken truth at a time. The loan was framed as temporary. Marco showed documents, plans, fake numbers polished just enough to look real. Oprah hesitated, then wired the money. After that, Marco changed. Calls shortened, visits delayed, excuses multiplied. Beyoncé spotted another older woman crying outside the bakery one evening. "Do you know her?" Beyoncé asked later. Oprah shrugged, heart racing. That night, Marco didn't answer his phone. For the first time, fear outweighed love. Oprah sat in the dark, replaying every lie she'd told herself. Trust, once broken, doesn't shatter, it dissolves, leaving nothing solid to stand on. Days passed, then weeks. Marco vanished. The bakery closed for renovations. His number went straight to voicemail. Oprah felt foolish, angry, ashamed. Michelle came over quietly and found the texts. Names, patterns, other widows. Same story, same script, same betrayal. Oprah didn't scream, she didn't collapse. Something colder formed instead. Clarity. Beyoncé held her hand as the truth settled. "You're not stupid," she said. "You were targeted." Betrayal hurts more when you realize it was intentional. Marco didn't fall in love, he hunted vulnerability, and Oprah finally understood the game she never knew she was playing. Oprah gathered evidence meticulously. Bank records, messages, testimonies from other women. She reported Marco to the Better Business Bureau, exposed the fraudulent loans, and alerted community leaders. No confrontation, no drama. His reputation collapsed silently, the way it deserved to. Beyoncé helped spread the truth carefully, not gossip, but warnings. Michelle watched her mother reclaim control with pride. Revenge didn't restore the money, but it restored Oprah's dignity. Power, she learned, isn't loud, it's strategic, and healing doesn't require forgiveness, it requires boundaries. Months later, Oprah opened a community baking group, free classes, shared stories, real connection. Women gathered, laughed, and healed. The smell of bread returned, but this time without manipulation. Oprah stood taller, wiser. Marco faded into memory, exactly where he belonged. Her children returned fully into her life. Beyoncé smiled often now, relieved. Betrayal had burned, but it also forged something stronger. Oprah didn't just survive the affair, she transformed it. And for the first time since her husband's death, she felt whole again. Healing didn't arrive with relief. It arrived with questions. After the community baking group gained momentum, Oprah began waking up at night, replaying moments she had ignored. Why did Marco's words feel scripted? Why had she silenced her instincts so easily? Trauma, she realized, doesn't end when the betrayer disappears. It lingers in self-doubt. Michelle noticed her mother staring out the window one afternoon and asked softly, "Are you okay now?" Oprah paused. "I'm better," she said, choosing honesty over performance. Healing, she learned, wasn't about erasing the past, but understanding how it reshaped her. The affair didn't just betray her trust, it exposed the quiet places inside her that had been starving for connection. One evening, after a baking class, a woman named Viola stayed behind. Her hands trembled as she spoke. "I knew Marco too," she whispered. Then another woman joined, then another. Stories overlapped like tracing paper. Same words, same promises, same disappearance. Oprah listened, heart heavy but steady. This wasn't a coincidence, it was a pattern. For the first time, she saw her pain as part of something larger. Barack later said, "You didn't fail, the system failed you." Oprah nodded. There was power in collective truth. The shame she once carried alone began to dissolve as it spread into shared understanding. Silence had protected Marco. Speaking would dismantle him completely. The bakery never reopened. Whispers turned into warnings. Online reviews surfaced, careful and factual. Community boards removed Marco's name from partnerships. No celebration followed, just quiet justice. Beyoncé remarked, "This is how accountability should look." Oprah didn't feel victorious. She felt free. Watching consequences unfold without her involvement confirmed something important. Revenge doesn't need rage to work, it needs truth. Marco's charm couldn't survive exposure. The man who thrived in secrecy crumbled under daylight. Oprah didn't attend the fallout. She baked bread with her grandchildren instead, choosing presence over spectacle. Trust with her children took time. Michelle admitted, "I was angry because I was scared." Oprah listened without defending herself. Barack apologized for assuming weakness instead of pain. Conversations once avoided became necessary. Oprah shared how grief had hollowed her out, how Marco had filled the silence temporarily. The family cried together, not because of betrayal, but because of love stretched thin and repaired carefully. Healing within the family doesn't come from blame, it comes from vulnerability. Oprah felt closer to her children now than she had in years. Loss had fractured them, but honesty stitched them back together. As the baking group grew, Oprah faced resistance. Some accused her of airing dirty laundry. Others questioned why she didn't just move on. Empowerment, she learned, threatens people who benefit from silence. Beyoncé reminded her, "You're not responsible for anyone's comfort." Oprah stood firm. She wasn't telling stories to punish, she was telling them to protect. Every class ended with laughter, but also with conversations about boundaries, finances, and emotional manipulation. Pain had given her authority she never asked for, but now embraced. Leadership, she realized, often comes disguised as survival. Loneliness didn't disappear. It changed shape. Some evenings still felt heavy, but now Oprah didn't rush to fill them. She sat with discomfort instead of running from it. Therapy helped her name patterns she'd ignored, how being needed had once felt like being loved. That awareness hurt, but it healed. One afternoon, while walking past the old bakery location, she felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just closure. The absence of pain surprised her more than its presence ever had. She smiled, realizing freedom isn't loud, it's peaceful. Oprah began mentoring widows privately. Financial literacy, emotional resilience, red flags. Viola joined her. Together, they built something intentional. "If someone had warned me," Viola said, "things might have been different." Oprah replied, "Now we are the warning." The work felt meaningful, not reactive. This wasn't about Marco anymore. It was about reclaiming narrative control. Betrayal had once defined her story. Now wisdom did. Even Beyoncé admitted, "You've turned this into purpose." Oprah didn't feel heroic. She felt aligned. It came quietly, not romance, respect. A retired teacher named Denzel joined a baking class. He listened more than he spoke, never rushed, never pried. Oprah noticed how safe silence felt around him. No promises, no flattery, just consistency. She didn't call it love, she called it a possibility, and that was enough. Healing had taught her patience, not just with others, but with herself. At a community event, Oprah spoke publicly for the first time. "Strength isn't ever falling," she said. "It's learning why you fell and refusing to stay there." The room was quiet. People nodded. Some cried. Oprah realized her voice carried weight now, not because of what she lost, but because of what she rebuilt. The affair no longer embarrassed her, it educated her. Strength, she understood, includes admitting when you were deceived and choosing growth anyway. Years later, Oprah's home was full again, not with noise, but with intention. Her grandchildren baked beside her. Her children visited often. The baking group flourished independently. Marco's name rarely surfaced. When it did, it held no power. Oprah had rewritten her ending, not as a victim, not as a symbol, but as a woman who survived betrayal without losing herself. Love returned on her terms. Trust returned slowly. Peace returned fully. And that, she decided, was the greatest revenge of all. We have come to the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it.
Leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting stories. Have a good one.